Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I am back with another video here. The first game review of the 2021-22 season. Just to start off, I will apologize. I was at this game. My voice is a little shot, so if there are times where my voice cracks or it sounds different or I'm talking deeper, that is why. Now, this game was very eventful. Really good first period by the Flyers. Atrocious second period. And a crazy comeback late in the third. To tie the game, you go into overtime. Crazy 3-on-3. Lots of good saves from Carter Hart. And the Flyers ended up losing this one in a shootout. Now, just to get into the beginning of the game and things like that, I did do a preview video of this one, but I will talk about the lines again if you missed that one. The lines for this game for the Flyers: Giroux, Couturier, Konechny, Farabee, Brassard, Atkinson, Lindblom, Lawton, James Van Riemsdyk, Willman, Thompson, Aube-Kubel. Provorov and Ellis, Sanheim and Braun, Yandel and Sealer. Carter Hart was in net for this one. The lines are a little bit different. Max Willman makes his NHL debut. Provorov and Ellis are still together, and the Flyers have kind of kept that pairing together really all through camp. Sanheim and Braun, that line is together because Ristolainen is day-to-day with an upper body injury, and he will most likely be back Monday, but not 100% positive yet. And then because of that, Nick Sealer was called up because Braun got moved up. So Yandel played with Sealer, and Sealer played the right side on that pairing, and obviously, as I said, Hart was in net. Now, start off for this one. First period, Flyers were all over it. Farabee from Brassard in the slot off a Vancouver turnover for the first shot of the game was swallowed up by Demko. The Giroux, Couturier, Konechny line had a great shift after that. One-timer by Provorov. Lots of chances in close for the Flyers. Farabee had a tip shot. He tipped a shot from Braun. That it was kind of just one of them plays where it comes up the wall and Braun just kind of quick fires it. Tipped wide, hit off of Demko's pad. It was all Flyers in the first 3.5 minutes of the first. They were just owning Vancouver. Then the Flyers get a power play. Konechny was tripped up off some great hustle. Demko threw the puck around the wall. Konechny got there first, and Myers ended up tripping him up. That was at 15:48. Atkinson had a shot off of a Farabee pass below the goal line. It was kind of that quick setup play, go for the one-timer. Loose puck, but it was covered up. First unit couldn't really get much going, and then the Flyers would get the first goal of the season. Joel Farabee would score on a one-timer off the pass from Ellis. It went low pad off of Demko and then back, hit off the Canucks defenseman and just squeaked in. 1-0 Flyers. After that, the Flyers put a stat up on the board that the Flyers were 30-17-6 in home openers. They're now 30-17-7. And after that, as the game went on, Flyers were definitely throwing the body. That was one thing I really liked seeing, really throughout most of the game. A couple good hits there by Thompson and Giroux. Flyers' forecheck was all over the Canucks. They were attacking. Once they had possession, they weren't giving them much on the rush. In the first period, it seemed like the Flyers, once the Canucks got to the red line or escaped, they didn't really give them much room to get out of the zone. If they did, the Canucks, were pretty much forced to just dump it. And Hart was there. Flyers had quick breakouts, good possession, and then moved that out. Lindblom almost set up Thompson on a turnover in the slot. It was a little quick 3-on-1 kind of little dish back and forth, and it was maybe one too many passes there, and the puck just kind of slipped under Thompson's stick. Vancouver had a chance in front of a pass that went all the way through the slot. Pass went back as Hart kind of slid over, and the puck went through. The Flyers cleared it out. No harm, no foul. It was probably one of Vancouver's best chances of that period. Giroux found Konechny in the slot off of a Demko turnover that went low pad, kicked that one out. Flyers could have had at least 2 or 3 goals in this period. Demko was fantastic. Willman had a really good stick in the defensive zone here. Thompson had a good hit at the other end. Pretty good defensive shift there from the fourth line. Some good hits as well. Konechny had a huge hit at the red line. Really good body. Provorov was tripped up going to the slot. No call. I thought that one would have been called, but they didn't call that. They also put up on the screen that Giroux is also the longest tenured captain in history. He's the 10th season with the C. JVR with a wraparound chance, couple pad saves, and then net came loose. Puck might have hit the post as well. Konechny almost hit Provorov in the slot in the dying seconds. Pretty close there. End of one for the Flyers. Great period. Offensively, they were very aggressive. They got shots, zone time, shots from the point, shots really from all over, everything. They just moved the puck so well. Vancouver really didn't have much in that period. They were swarmed at the Flyers blue line, as I mentioned, and overall the Flyers had a really good period. They just absolutely dominated them in the first. Shots on goal were 14-5 in favor of the Flyers. Second period starts, and it kind of goes into a kind of a funk early, I guess. You get like a 3-on-2 kind of rush. Podkolzin ties the game at 1. It's, play. It's a 3-on-2, as I said, kind of moving into the zone, and Provorov kind of gets sealed off by the other Canucks player going to the net, and Podkolzin had all the time in the world to shoot it, and he picked high glove, and he absolutely sniped it over Hart. Hart probably would want that one back, as literally every goalie would probably want a goal back that they give up because they gave up a goal. But, at 17-24, this game was tied 1-1 off a great shot. Canucks would get a power play maybe 30 seconds later, and they would score. Pettersson scored. It was 2-1. The shot squeaked off of Hart's foot. It was like a weird play. Like, Pettersson shot it. It just rode, hit the back wall, came out, and just hit off of Hart's skate and went into the net. Rough bounce, 2-1, and then the Flyers get a power play at 15-12, so right after they gave up the goal that made it 2-1, they get a power play. Giroux had a one-timer, had some good puck movement. The power play looked okay. It's definitely looked better than it did last year, but overall I think it looked good, and obviously it had the goal. They couldn't necessarily find a lane on a chance where Couturier had a play where he might have been able to shoot it. I don't know if he had a shooting lane. It didn't look like he did, but I think the better option would have been the pass there. He just didn't have the lane for it. Ended up getting killed off. Provorov would take a delay a game at 12:23, so the Canucks would get a power play. Sanheim had a good stick, cleared the puck. Thompson had a breakaway. Out of all guys, Thompson gets the breakaway. He got stoned, pad save. And then 5-on-3, Flyers take a too many men for 35 seconds, and the Canucks with 1 second left would make it 3-1. And again, the Flyers penalty kill, not picking up a stick in front. It was just kind of one of them plays where the puck, they had that pass low. They got the tip in front from Chason, and he kind of just whacked at it, and it just squeaked in. So 3-1 there. And again, as I said, that was with 1 second left, so that's kind of a bummer because with 1 second left, it's going right to 5-on-4 then instead of 5-on-3. You might have been able to get out of the 5-on-3, but it's 3-1. After that, the Flyers get off the rest of the 5-on-4. Atkinson scores his first goal as a Flyer, also Yandle's first assist and first point as a Flyer. 3-2. Really nice pass from Farabee. Good play from Atkinson to sneak below the D. And a quick little one-timer. 3-2 game. Flyers get it right back to a one-goal game there. That was at 7:32. And then 4-2 with 2.5 minutes left. Hart just gives up a squeaker on the goal line. And as I'm watching this play, I'm like, all right. I thought it went in the first time. Right when the shot went, I was like, that didn't squeak in, did it? And then I'm like, Hart moved. I'm like, why is Hart moving? And then it just kind of came loose. And Sanheim didn't pick up the stick either. That was another issue. So obviously that wasn't great. So that was just not a good goal at all. Hart shouldn't have moved. Sanheim had to pick up a stick. That's one Hart would want to have back for sure. The last 3 goals after the sequence, I typed this. I said the last 3 goals literally just squeaked in. They were just plays where the puck just rolled in or just trickled or whatever. It was just such a tough period for the Flyers. Really, couple tough bounces there as well. And then the Willman just took a penalty. You're trying to get back into the game, and you got a couple minutes left, and he's cross-checking a guy at the red line right in front of the ref, and he takes a cross-checking penalty. I get it. You want to get a fight going, and you want to get the crowd back into it. You just gave up 4 goals in the second period in your home opener. I understand that. But Vancouver's would be pretty stupid to fight at that time. So I get it, and then they just take a dumb penalty there. And, that ended up getting killed off. That ended up being a full 2 minutes to start the period. So that ends up getting killed off to start the third. But overall, really bad period for the second. They just shot themselves in the foot constantly over and over and over again. From the too many men to the delay of game, just the constant penalties. And Atkinson said at postgame, you got to kill the penalty for the guy that's in the box. And that's perfectly said. So the PK, I've talked about this with Yuri Wallach before on Don't Panic. The PK hasn't looked great. Yes, it's been different pairs and stuff, which I mentioned, but systematically it has not looked good, and I will admit that. It obviously wasn't Hart's best period either. So, again, too many penalties, just kind of a whole mix of things in that second. Third period starts. It was kind of a really weird period at this point. You think the Flyers would come out, have some pressure. They had the forecheck. it just wasn't as effective as it was in the first. Vancouver was able to get out of the zone easy. It looked like they were just going to kind of cruise away with this win. As I said, the Flyers killed it off. Konechny has a chance, 3-on-2, quick shot save, no rebound there, went up high. Farabee almost set up Couturier on a one-timer coming in the slot, ended up getting tipped away. Farabee had such a good game. I mean, he was all over it. He had a goal and an assist. He set up a couple plays. He's just such a good hockey IQ. Giroux fires a one-timer. He just absolutely fired that puck. Ended up going high. Really good save by Demko. Lindblom had a huge hit in the corner. Flyers were getting physical. That's the one thing I did like. They kept the body going. They continued that. The Giroux line continued with some hits. Giroux had a mean slash on Quinn Hughes right below the net to kind of get to a puck. The Flyers had 4 shots at this time. They had a good amount of zone time, not as efficient as they were in the first. That was at 6:22 left. When they ended the second period, the shots were 24-18 in favor of the Flyers. Flyers had 28 shots at 6:22 left. So obviously they, as I said, they had the zone time, they had pressure, they just didn't really have the shots on net to show for it and to get the chances. Tip in front by Giroux off a point shot from Provorov. Coots almost slammed that one home. And then in the dying seconds, the Flyers, they get a power play with 2:24 left, 2 minutes slash. Konechny draws the penalty, and he gets a goal. 4-3. Konechny scores on a quick strike there. So 2 power play goals in this one. Excuse me on that. I know I did say 1 power play goal. That was 2 power play goals. Icing with 1:32 left. The Flyers set up. Claude Giroux ties the game. Unbelievable Sally. Unbelievable setup. It was just great. Awesome. Great Sally. Great setup. Really good set play too. I mean, you see Giroux wave the stick to kind of, point over and be like, hey, Coots, do the set play. And they get the goal. They tie the game. Game goes to overtime. Crazy overtime. Lots of zone time for Vancouver. The Flyers defended really well. They didn't give them many shots. Hart had a couple good saves. Had a breakaway save on Elias Pettersson. The crowd was electric. I mean, I was down right below the section. I moved down. I was sitting all the way up, moved down. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. So as the game's going on, I'm trying to find a tunnel to watch the game through. And I go, and I'm standing there, and Giroux ties the game. I'm going absolutely ballistic at this point. I'm like, dude, this is just insane. But again, the shootout comes, and Couturier goes. He misses low pad. Pettersson scores low glove. Giroux misses forehand on his patent. Really nice move. Almost scored there. Miller scores forehand. Just Hart kind of bit first and went with him. And the Flyers ended up losing this one 5-4. Now, takeaways. As I said, the first thing is this. Don't overreact. It's the first game of the season. There's a reason they play 82. They have 81 more of these things. You got a lot of time. Second, as I said, the penalty kill needs work. I think systematically, I just don't think it's there yet. I think there's just a couple things that they need to... Again, I think physically, I also think Ristolainen's going to add a lot of that when he comes back, and hopefully he'll be back Monday against Seattle. As for the team's fight back, I love it. That's great. You're just in a game and you're in your home opener. It's the first game of the year. Everything, new identity, new faces. I've talked about this so many times. And you finally just keep grinding away and you keep grinding and you tie the game. You at least got a point out of this game, which was good because of how bad the second period was. You want to clean that up in the second period. And overall, I thought a lot of guys played well. I mean, if I'm looking at these lines, that Giroux Couturier Konechny line was fantastic again. They were great throughout the preseason. They continue that into this game. I see no sense in breaking that up at all. Farabee had a great game. I thought Atkinson, that line looked very good. Lindblom looked good as well. Lawton had some push. I thought the fourth line was good. Again, the Flyers didn't necessarily play bad. It was just the second period was rough. As for the defense, they didn't look, terrible either. I thought they all made some good plays. They had good breakouts. They were able to move the puck. They got point shots through to the net, which was fantastic. This was also a really good hockey game and a great atmosphere to be at. You got the Bring It to Broad t-shirts and everything. It was awesome. I had such a great time. I hung out with Chris Stumps from the Liberty Yell and a bunch of guys from there before the game at the tailgate. It was just a great time. And again, sadly the Flyers end up losing this one, but there's 81 more of these babies. So, look, it's the first one of the year. Flyers end up losing in a shootout. The focus now turns to Seattle. Hopefully the Flyers can come back on Monday here at home against the Kraken and pick up a win. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.